Okay, so Anna, what's the situation on the ground there right now?
It's a mix really because it's now the Purim holiday. So there are many parties, except those parties are underground in shelters. While at the same time, there's a lot of fear. There is a lot of fear of the unknown, of where this war is heading. There is a fear of the rocket sirens. The children who are, supposed to be celebrating with all their friends, are really afraid to do that. But yet we're trying to keep life as sane as possible, as much as you can in a war. And this is a war that Israel has been living through for over 2.5 years, but it's now another level because it's a really direct confrontation with Iran, like we saw in June. So it's really complicated if you're asking about what's life like here in Israel at the moment. It's a mix of fear and joy at the same time.
Outside of the holiday, what is day-to-day life like under conditions like this since Saturday morning?
So since Saturday morning, Israel is pretty much under lockdown. There are no schools, there's no gatherings. There's really not many people on the street, not many cars either. I live just above a main highway and there's no traffic, and usually there's always traffic. Um, People are working from home, offices are closed unless you're an essential worker. It's kind of a reminder of the beginning of the war on October 7th, how the country handled that for several weeks. So right now, also there's no flights, the airspace is closed, the airport is closed. So that's also a reminder of October 7th. And also, if you want to go back all the way down to Corona, a lot of people I've spoken to are taking that mix of October 7th and Corona, the two lockdowns. But I think that after the fact that Israel has been living like this for 2.5 years, Israelis are very resilient and they understand that this is not going to last forever. So they're coming together. There's a lot of support, a lot of people that are really banding together to help each other, whether it be taking people in whose homes have been destroyed by Iranian ballistic missiles, helping those who have family members stuck abroad or are tourists here and are stuck here. So there's really that's really a big part of it as well.
And you mentioned there's sort of a fear of the unknown. How long is this going to go on? Is there any sense from the government, from the IDF, of an end game?
There's never a sign of an end game when we're coming to the talking with the government, but they did hint, even though President Trump said that it might last up to 4 weeks. Well, in Israel, Miri Regev, the transportation minister, said that the airport and flights might even fly by the end of this week. So we don't know which way it's going. We at one point, on the one hand, want to think it's gonna, be over tomorrow, but realistically, we know that it might last even longer than 4 weeks. But again, while a war might last longer than 4 weeks, could be a year, could be more. I do think that Israel itself is going to come back to acting as it has been for the past 2.5 years.
So why now?
Why now? Well, there's a lot. It could be that Iran was really just pressing Trump's buttons and he had enough. I don't think the Israelis really had any, what's the word, any say or pushing Trump when to carry this out, even though it was a joint operation. It was likely that the decision was made together, not one side pushing the other to act, because even though it was a presidential order or an order by the prime minister, it is the militaries that at the end of the day are carrying out those orders, and they have to work together. So the training has to be right and the timing has to be right. Maybe it's the intelligence that they saw that, Khamenei was really at the place that they knew that they can hit him. So I think it must have been a mix of Trump had just had enough and the military and the intelligence agencies were like, okay, this is the right time. It's now or never.
We've seen, not just Israel, US hit by Iranian retaliatory fire. Several other countries in the Middle East have also been targeted and hit. Is Israel receiving any pressure from those other Middle Eastern countries to end the operation or scale it back?
I don't think they would do that. We see the Qataris in there, the Saudis in there, the Emiratis in there, the Bahrainis. I don't think any of them, though they're part of CENTCOM and so is Israel now, they won't have won't have any way to pressure Israel. It's more that they can talk with the Americans and say, okay, well, we're really getting hit, so why don't we scale it back? But I don't think that's actually what's going to happen. I think those countries who have stood on the sidelines for so long, who have played, a two-faced game in a way, especially the Qataris, um, they understood that this is the true face of Iran. Iran has actually struck the Emiratis even more than the Israelis. And so Israel is not the only target. The American platforms and troop deployment, they're not the only target. The neighboring countries, I mean, for example, Saudi and Iran, they're such big enemies. Saudi wants to be the powerhouse of the Middle East, not have Iran be the powerhouse of the Middle East. So I think this is also giving an opportunity to these countries to really be like, okay, well, we have the platforms, we have the training, we have integrated our systems with the Americans. We're part of CENTCOM. The Iranians are now striking us and really doing damage. They're not going to stay on the sidelines. They're not going to say, okay, we're going to scale back. I think that's either they're going to go on the offensive as well, or they're going to really play a big role in intercepting the missiles coming further from their countries. Like the Jordanians. The Jordanians aren't going to pressure the Israelis to scale back, even though they're being hit. The Jordanians are playing a role in stopping the fire.
All right, let's talk about Lebanon and Hezbollah. Hezbollah has long been allied with Iran. They are a faction within Lebanon that's been designated a terror group by many countries. They retaliated against Israel for Ayatollah Khamenei's killing, despite warnings from the Lebanese president not to drag Lebanon into the war. And over the past 48 hours, we've seen Israel striking in Lebanon. Is there a risk of that escalating further as well?
They can try. They've tried before, and Israel really decimated them. I mean, talk about a paper tiger, right? Hezbollah, which has been Iran's main proxy around the world, and not only targeting Israel, but targeting sites even in Argentina, in Buenos Aires. Um, but I think that Hezbollah is so um, was so destroyed by Israel during the last war that the fire that they're shooting now, be it the drones or the missiles, are really just to show that yeah, we're supporting our leaders or whoever might be the next leader of Iran before they get killed. We're going to support you as much as we can, but we're not going to go too deep into it. At the same time, the Israelis don't want that. And Netanyahu and Defense Minister Katz has said, okay, we're going to send troops into South Lebanon. We're going to stop this before it gets even worse. They're not going to take the any chance. They saw what Hezbollah was able to do during the last war, and really they had a significant impact on the north. Many Israelis from the north haven't returned yet. They don't feel confident that Hezbollah has been disarmed. So as much as they have been decimated, just like I think the Iranian leadership is gone and their military firepower is really not what we had thought it would be. Israel doesn't want to take the chance with Hezbollah.